is fine by them at this moment in time. But the longer the game goes on, I suppose the more nervous people will get. Here's Guimaraes down the right-hand side into the path of Almiron. Almiron sends it to Trippier on the overlap. His cross is deep. It's over the head of Anderson. A little bit too deep this time. Isak scurries to retrieve it. He's down the left side of the Leicester penalty area. On the attack, he comes in on his right foot. It's still 0-0. He gives it to Bruno Guimaraes on the edge of the D. More space for Almiron. Out wide right. He cuts in onto his left foot. He got a trip inside the penalty area there. The ball goes out towards the right, back towards Longstaff. Inside the box, he falls over. And then it goes out into the left full-back position, and Luke Thomas will clear. Just wonder whether or not, if Almiron had been a little bit cuter and gone down, then there might have been a decision to make for Andre Mariner.
Yeah, possibly. Looked like a couple of players just slipped though as well, going into that area. And maybe the referee was aware of that, thinking, not quite sure. And of course, he's got the backup of VAR. No, they'll have a quick look at it.
Here is Dan Burn, who's backing up Isak on this left-hand side. He's run down into the left-wing position, giving it to Isak, who's been pulled to the floor by Ndidi. He thought he was going to get a foul. He didn't, and now Ndidi is escaping over halfway. Bruno Guimaraes, who's got to be careful because he's already in a booking, sees the ball slid beyond him, and it's already black and white shirts everywhere before Vardy can get hold of the ball from Ndidi. And now they come forward, knowing that there's a couple of men the wrong side of the ball for Leicester. And here comes Almiron down the right side, the Paraguayan, who's darting beyond Soumare, gets to the edge of the box and lays it off to Trippier. Back in field it goes towards Cher. Cher looks up, there's no one really to aim at in the centre, so Trippier takes over now. We're into the final few seconds of added time, and there is the last action of that first half. The first half in which Newcastle United have hit the post twice and seen Isak and Callum Wilson steer efforts over the top of the bar from very close range. Newcastle are heading to the Champions League and about to record their best points total since Kevin Keegan's first spell in charge. Leicester are inching above Leeds United as it stands, but will still be relying on beating West Ham and Everton dropping points on Sunday if they're to stay up, and it stays like this. They've had 17% of the possession, no shots on target, no corners in the first half, but it is Newcastle 0, Leicester 0.
Just watching Nick Pope walk in. He must be so bored. He's literally had nothing to do but watch a game of football. He didn't even buy a ticket. But the rest of the players going in has been so one-sided. It's been ridiculous here at St James Park, but it is 0-0. They've hit the post a couple of times. They've had some other good chances. Isak firing wide. Wilson heading over. A goal line clearance from Ndidi as well. But Newcastle on top, but without the goals to show for it. But points enough for them to secure Champions League football. A point will take Leicester above Leeds, but they will need a win on the final day of the season if they only get a point here at Newcastle tonight. They're certainly going to have to show more ambition than they have in the first half if they want to get the victory. One talking point from early on that mustn't be forgotten, Danny Mills, and that is Bruno Guimaraes. The foul on Soumare. It was studs at knee height. If the referee shows a red there, VAR would not overturn it, in my opinion. But referees, I think, are not showing a red. They'll show a yellow, thinking, well, if it is a clear red, VAR will change that and we'll get it right eventually. That's not how it works, though, is it?
No, I think that's a very good assessment. And this is what it's all been with VAR. It's a backup. It's I don't have to make a decision, because if it's a glaring mistake, they'll pick it up for me. So it's too easy sometimes for them to go, actually, I'll give a yellow, it's a foul. Having said that, I mean, I look at it, there wasn't a huge amount of force in it. He mistimed it and he caught him. It wasn't like he was going right through him. On the basis, do you want to see players sent off that? I don't think it was nasty. It wasn't excessive force. It's a little bit late and it looks a little bit nasty. So probably a yellow is about right. But I think you're right. You know, and you watch so much. You watch a ridiculous amount of football. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, it's one of my big problems with VAR that the likes of Howard Webb do not address. They don't address that kind of thing, and that's the kind of thing that does need addressing. I don't think it would have changed Leicester's game plan, and let's talk about their game plan, which is basically to sit back, soak it all up.
I told you.
Harry Souttar to head everything away if possible, and that's about it. The end of the first half, the possession stat, 83% for Newcastle, which is insane, but it is actually working for Leicester. And the job,
well, it is.
Last 15 minutes, bring on Maddison, you win the game.
The ball boys have had more possession than Leicester. But what's the big stat that counts? 0-0. You know, and I said that gives them a chance. They need one moment. If they can keep, and they've ridden their luck incredibly, but if they continue to do that, they need one moment. That's all you need. You just need a 5-second moment in the game where Vardy gets away, goal. Simple as that. Job done. But a point is not a bad... Are Leeds going to win against Spurs? Probably not, is the answer. If Everton get a point, let's say it's 0-0 here, Leicester still have to win that last game, and that would get them out of it. So that's probably what they're back. They're going, if we get a point here, we've got just as much chance as actually if they win here.
I did have a message from our TalkSport colleague Hugh Wozencroft, said all three are going to win on the final day. I mean, none of them are winning games. So
how he thinks. If he's right, it's fair play to him.
I'll tell you what, I'll take that bet, Hugh. I'll message you later for the odds.
I can't see Leicester winning anything.
I'll take his house off him.
Absolutely extraordinary. But listen, if that comes off, we've both got to apologise to him. It's 0-0 here, all Newcastle. As a Newcastle fan, I know Emma has just messaged me saying, how on earth are Newcastle not in front? Somehow it's stayed away from the back of the net. The keeper's been flapping. There's been chances that should have been taken, and the woodwork's been rattled as well. Leicester, though, are goalless here at Newcastle, and they will move up a place in the bottom three. You know, this is a season that's never ending. We've got more Premier League football for you on Wednesday night. I'll be at Brighton against Man City. What a celebration that will be. Stuart Pearce and Sam Matterface on commentary duty for that live and exclusive. And then the following night, there's another one. Thursday, Premier League, Man United against Chelsea. Nigel Adley and Dean Ashton with the commentary. Hugh Wozencroft will be your host at Old Trafford on that night. And all three playoff finals, all three European finals, live on TalkSport. We will be heading out to Prague with West Ham and to Istanbul with Manchester City as well. This is TalkSport, where the football never stops. Half-time on game night, Newcastle somehow 0, Leicester 0.
Monday game night on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Are you in? Let's go. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
And he's barrelled it straight through the midfield into the Village Hotel Pub and Grill Fan Zone, the home of big screen live football. A long volley over the stadium seats by the giant screens into the left-hand corner of the bar. Past a winning lineup of ice-cold beers and a magnificent menu of mouth-watering footy food. Result! Enjoy the perfect big match experience with food, drink and live football at a Village Hotel Pub and Grill Fan Zone at 33 UK locations. Find your nearest venue and win monthly prizes, including match tickets at villagehotels.com/fanzone. Get in! Conditions apply. 18 plus. Always drink responsibly. Hello, my friend. Life comes at you fast, so make time for you time with Just Eat. For early times, lunch times, late times, strange times. The perfect times for the McDonald's sausage and egg McMuffin, Five Guys cheeseburger and strawberry shake, Domino's pepperoni passion, plus more from Costa Coffee, Creams Cafe and Pizza Express. So order now, later, in a bit, whenever. We got it.
Did somebody say Just Eat?
Product subject to availability in restaurant and serving times. Participating stores only. See justeat.co.uk for details.
Rodri to De Bruyne, flicked on to Walker. Goal! No one saw that coming.
Or as we say in Japan, no warutaka wa tsume o kakusu. The smart hawk hides its talents. For taste beyond expected, Asahi Super Dry, official beer partners of Manchester City. Enjoy responsibly. Visit drinkaware.co.uk.
For all the top Premier League analysis, listen to The Game, the Premier Football podcast from The Times. Every Monday and Thursday, join Hugh Wozencroft and a host of big-name guests for in-depth reaction and opinion on the latest action and the biggest issues in the world of football.
It's a massive goal!
Hear previews of all the upcoming matches and provocative and compelling opinions from some of the finest football writers from The Times and The Sunday Times.
Lovely bit of football!
Listen to The Game on the free Times Radio app or wherever you find your podcasts.
We all fantasize about our perfect home, sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
We got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes. At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals on a wide range of building products.
by 12.5mm fireboard plasterboard for £11.49 ex-VAT. And with free delivery, that's a real deal. Find more real deals online at selcobw.com.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
VAT charged at 20%. Free delivery within local delivery areas.
This football season, get a hand from Betfair's popular Bet Builder and easily add our fan favourite football selections to your bet slip in just one tap. Spend less time finger faffing and place your bet the easy way. Now that's handy, because we're Betfair.
Exclusive to Betfair Sportsbook. Terms and conditions apply. Please see frequently asked questions on support.betfair.com. 18+ BeGambleAware.org.
Sunday session on TalkSport with Now Sports. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Newcastle versus Leicester live tonight for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports. 18+. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Leave behind the workday blues. More live football on a Monday night.
What a chance, what a goal!
This is Game Night
on TalkSport.
Game night on TalkSport with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. It is Newcastle 0, Leicester 0. Newcastle with all the ball and with all the chances. A point though does mean Champions League football for Newcastle guaranteed win. And I've got to say, when I worked in the bars here, the Tuxedo Royale, the boat under the Tyne Bridge with a revolving dance floor, Monday nights were always student nights in Newcastle, but I tell you the big market will be rocking this evening if Newcastle United get the win and guarantee Champions League football next season. For Leicester, they'll stay in the bottom three with a point, but they will go above Leeds. They will, though, need a win on the final day of the season. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Are you in? Let's go. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18+ BeGambleAware.org.
Jess O'Reilly from Ladbrokes. 0-0, remarkably, unbelievably, inexplicably 0-0 at half-time.
I know, crazy. Over 80% possession from Newcastle, which on one hand is pretty pathetic from Leicester that they haven't really got out of their own half. But in fairness, on the other, they're doing the job that they obviously set out to do with the team sheet they have. 14 shots from Newcastle, just 2 on target. You've got to think, how long can they hold on for? They are very much surviving here. Not too much change in the match betting. Newcastle still odds on at 4-7, Leicester out to 7-1, and the draw is in there at 9-4. I don't see the draw myself. I do see Newcastle nicking it after that first half. You've just got to think they're eventually going to creep through. Newcastle to win 2-0 is around the 21-20 mark. I think that's where the play is now, and the 1-0 scoreline is in there at 19-5.
Jess, thank you very much. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Are you in? Let's go. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18+ BeGambleAware.org.
Well, they've just had some sort of shooting competition at half-time, and some of those had Amanda Staveley's out there on the pitch as well. Some of those, she's had more of the ball than any Leicester player in that first half. She's kicked the ball more than Jamie Vardy did in that first half, but that's the Leicester game plan. TalkSport Breakfast with Laura Woods and Ali McCoy from 6 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Tomorrow morning, the former Newcastle and Liverpool manager Graham Souness is among the guests. He'll tell you why he's swimming the channel. It's all for a good cause. Fair play to him. He's a good man. And when the breakfast show's done, stay with TalkSport, because White and Jordan will be joined in the studio by rockstar Noel Gallagher, of course a big fan of the champions Manchester City. He'll be absolutely lauding it tomorrow. Martin Keown this morning was sensational. He said he wanted to know why people were accusing Arsenal of bottling it, and if they were, why weren't they accusing Spurs of bottling their whole season? Martin, mate, they've developed a word for that. It's Spursy. Everybody talks about it. Come on, join in, catch up. You know what's going on. The half-time subs were warming up. James Maddison was out there, just went in a moment ago. Not too sure whether he'll be coming on or not. I can't see any changes being made this early by Dean Smith. Maybe later on when he might be pushing for a win if it is still 0-0, or if they do go behind and need to get back in the game. But so much possession for Newcastle United and so many chances as well, and it makes you wonder if Newcastle have to change their approach in the second half. Graham Jones has just come out onto the bench from the coaching staff at Newcastle. He was involved in a big conversation, a lengthy conversation with Jason Tindall as the half drew to a close. Eddie Howe joined them as well, and you made you wonder whether they were thinking, does it need a different approach in the second half to actually make the breakthrough? Well, they've made chances, they just haven't converted those chances. And that late change as well, Joe Linton out injured and Elliot Anderson coming in off the bench and starting the game. I think he's actually played quite well. His grandfather, Jeff Allen, played for Newcastle United as well as a winger. That was in the 60s. He was actually in the squad. He didn't play. He was in the squad when Newcastle won the Intercities Fairs Cup in 1969. So actually there's a Geordie who's been on the pitch, who's got family history, trophy history with Newcastle United. Him and Longstaff coming through the ranks here. Longstaff's dad, a Great Britain ice hockey player. He's an ice hockey legend, without a doubt. And Longstaff's brother, a footballer as well, Matthew's been at Mansfield Town and Colchester United on loan in League 2 in recent seasons. But we wait to get the second half underway. Officials are out there. The Newcastle United subs are still out there warming up, but we'll wait the players. Danny Mills, just wondering if Newcastle need to change their approach if they are to break the deadlock. We've got to remember they only need a point to guarantee top four.
Yeah, but I think they'll want to win here, and especially attacking the Gallagher end in the second half. You know, talk about it a lot. That slope does not get bigger when you're trying to defend it, and Leicester will find that they'll do exactly the same thing. But I think they just need to be a bit more clinical. Newcastle, I suggest, would be the only real thing. Do they bring maybe Anthony Gordon or someone like that, or a dribbler that can maybe open something up? But there are so many bodies back there, it becomes very, very difficult. They get one, they'll get two or three.
Oh yeah, and they are going down the hill, as you say, from the Leazes to the other end of the pitch to the Gallagher. So that will put the pressure on Leicester, who are just making their way out. Newcastle already out there. And I mentioned Elliot Anderson. You were talking about dark arts in the first half, maybe from Newcastle. Anderson will have learnt a bit on loan at Bristol Rovers under Joey Barton, who once compared him to Maradona. You want a dribbler? Maradona. Elliot Anderson, he's the dribbler. We've had everything from Newcastle in that first half, everything but the goals. It is Newcastle 0, Leicester 0, and Leicester have made that change. To tell you more about it, with the second half about to get underway, it's the former England defender Danny Mills alongside TalkSport's chief football commentator Sam Matface.
Maddison is on, Iheanacho is off, and I think the idea is that Iheanacho would provide the bullets for Jamie Vardy. That didn't really work out in the first half. Maybe Maddison can come up with something that he couldn't. Newcastle shooting from left to right, immediately get us started and get moving very quickly into Leicester territory, and immediately the game takes shape as it did in the first half, with Newcastle on the ball and Leicester defending deep.
Should we just turn to the right, Sam, and keep looking down that way?
Here is Almiron trying to get on the ball, beaten to it by Luke Thomas. Wilson comes across and puts it out. It's away for a throw-in. So Newcastle still got Pope in goal. Trippier, Scher, Botman and Byrne. Bruno Guimaraes, who could have been sent off in that first half. Anderson and Longstaff. Almiron, Wilson and Isaac. And then for Leicester, it's Everson in goal. Suter, Evans, Fass and Castagna, Ndidi and Thomas. And then Tielemans and Samaro, Vardy and Maddison. TalkSport live at St James's Park. Newcastle in black and white. It's all blue for Leicester City. The floodlights on now, and the sky going dark as this area of the country finally succumbs to night time. This time of the year, it's very late before it gets dark in Newcastle. Here is Scher up to halfway. On to Botman, wide on the left is Anderson, and then further wide is Alexander Isak, who comes infield, looks up, switches the play from left to right, gives it to Trippier. Trippier takes a couple of steps up towards the Leicester penalty area, goes wide now onto Almiron. Almiron trying to turn away from Samare, plays a 1-2, gets it back from Bruno Guimaraes, leaves it on towards Longstaff. He's just a little bit heavy with his pass onto Longstaff, and Everson only had to come out a little bit to gobble up that ball and be cleared away. This is Talk Sport.
I mean, if it carries on this way, you know, the possession stats and the chances, it will be a minor miracle if Leicester don't concede.
That's what they need. They need miracles, don't they, at this stage of the season? And Newcastle United want to deliver for their fans that have been so good to them this season. This has been a historic Newcastle Premier League campaign. Those years of the entertainers really were kind of blips, I suppose, on the landscape for most of the Premier League era when you take it as a whole. Newcastle are, though, on course for their second best Premier League season based on points per game. The only one better than this was 94-95 when Kevin Keegan's entertainers took over 2 points per game, finished second, 78 points, 4 points behind the champions Manchester United, but they should have won it that year. Corner kick early in the second half then for Newcastle. After Byrne travelled down the left, it goes out of play. Kieran Trippier gets rapturous applause from the supporters in the corner of the East Stand and the Gallagher over on the far side, diagonally opposite us.
What a signing he's been, Sam.
Oh, brilliant.
The first signing, wasn't he? But, you know, and even myself questioned why he would sign.
Right footed to the edge of the box, space for Almiron. It hits the hands of Tielemans, no doubt about it. But was it too close? It comes out towards the near side. That's a high foot from Johnny Evans. And the referee is going to have to stop the game and have a look at the situation and consult with his assistant on this near side. First of all, it appeared to be a handball. I mean, I don't think that it's going to be given because it hits underneath the arm.
It hits his elbow.
His back to it.
It hits his elbow, but his elbow is tight into his body. And the second one on Guimaraes, the foot is high, but I don't think he makes any contact.
Well, the referee has decided to play on. No more questions asked, and the Newcastle fans are starting to think that things are not going their way. We played 4 minutes of the second half. Newcastle won easily when these two met on Boxing Day. They have won the last two meetings between the two, but they haven't won 3 in a row against Leicester since '94. Here is Maddison playing the ball down through towards Vardy, but Vardy didn't have the ability to get on the end of that ball, and it's cleared away. And here's Trippier up over the halfway line. Maddison urged to get back and help out his team. Trippier back to Byrne, near side. Longstaff, sorry, not Byrne. Byrne's on the other side of the pitch. Here is Cher. He finds Byrne, who's just over the halfway line. He plays it down the left touchline into Isak. Isak runs up towards Castagna, who's backpedaling here. Isak delays and then comes back to the edge of the centre circle. Bruno Guimaraes trying to move things out toward the wide right. It's on to Trippier, who's engaged by Samare. Back to Almiron. Infield to plays a lovely 1-2 with Bruno Guimaraes, teases the ball into the box, cleared away by Johnny Evans, and it comes back on this near side. Jason Tindall acting as ball boy, wants things moving quickly. Clap of the hands from Eddie Howe. Back to Jason Tindall again, who is trying to urge his team forward. Out to the right, wide right, and Trippier's got it for Newcastle. The ball's back in play under the floodlights at St James's Park. It's 0-0. Newcastle probing, they're prodding, they're trying to open up this back line, this stubborn back line of Leicester City. Over on the far side, Isak outpowers Castagna, goes towards the corner flag, turns. He's had so many touches of the ball in this game, Alexander Isak.
I think what we haven't mentioned, Sam, a win guarantees Newcastle third. You know, that's really important. I know it's not about Champions League qualification. The goal difference is ridiculous, Sam. They'd have to lose something like 20-0 in the final game. That ain't going to happen. So, you know,
Manchester United got to play on Thursday, though.
Oh, of course, they've got 2 games
another
left, haven't they?
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
You went a bit early there.
Yeah, no, they won't win that. They'll lose.
They're playing Chelsea, Dan. They're playing Chelsea.
Oh, okay, fair point.
Here is Bruno Guimaraes.
But even still, they're going to want to finish third because that's important. And I know it's not about Champions League. You know, there's no qualification process. The top 4 go in automatically. But it's when you've been in this position, you want to say we finished third in the Premier League.
Yeah. In order to do that, they need to definitely win the last 2 games, and they have this game and then their game against Chelsea on the final day of the season down at Stamford Bridge. Here is Bruno Guimaraes. Securing Champions League was the aim and they will do that with a point here tonight. Back in field to Fabian Scher. They've been patient so far. They've created good opportunities and missed opportunities. Hit the post twice. 2 sitters. Here is Longstaff inside the penalty area, under pressure, goes down. Claims of handball by the Leicester players, saying that he illegally touched that, and the referee has allowed play on. Sent forward by Ndidi, but Vardy's still inside his own half of the field. There's no chance he's going to be able to race on to the end of that. He was doing the dirty work and trying to win the ball back previously, so it was a bit of a rushed pass by Ndidi forward.
Even he looks a bit downhearted, doesn't he, at the moment?
Who?
Jamie Vardy.
Yeah. Well, they all do.
But I mean, normally, if there's one player you'd expect out there to be like running around fighting for everything, it would be him.
A wave of noise sending Newcastle towards the Gallagate. Here is Bruno Guimaraes, right angle of the penalty area away to our right hand side. Gets the return ball from Kieran Trippier. But this Leicester defence is holding firm at this moment in time. Slid forward by Scher, onto Longstaff, right footed shot, took a deflection, did it? No. Goes behind and away, wide of goal, out for a goal kick away to our right hand side. You're listening to Talk Sport, and we're live at the home of Newcastle United, St James's Park. 52,152 in the stadium tonight.
Not a spare seat in the house, is there? I mean, it's incredible. Completely, it's pretty much always completely packed out here. Has been for the last few seasons. Magnificent support, even when they've been through tough times.
Yeah. Official capacity is 52,305, but there is quite a few seats that are taken out here tonight because of segregation. So that probably means every seat that is available has been taken. It's almost like getting gold dust trying to get a ticket now to get into the home end at St James's Park. Here's Isak down the left side, taken on by Bruno Guimaraes. Back to Isak again, now down by the corner flag. He travels laterally towards the edge of the penalty area. He's got Trippier waiting for the ball on the edge of the D. He goes instead to Botman, into Bruno Guimaraes. Scher, now Trippier will get it. He's just right of the midpoint of the Leicester half of the field. Back to Botman, then on to Elliot Anderson. They're keeping the ball well here. 84% possession in the game for Newcastle United. 16 attempts on goal, 2 on target until this point, and 2 times they've hit the woodwork. Trippier into the penalty area, deep towards the far post, away by Castagna, funneling back into position, headed down. Samare smacks it into the air. Scher is underneath it, vying with Vardy for the ball. Vardy gets the first contact on the ball, but Burns sends it back again. Poor ball forward by Ndidi, comes back to the right side, where it's collected by Trippier, onto Longstaff, onto Almiron. Almiron down the right, tickled away by Luke Thomas, out for a corner.
Leicester are camped 35 yards from their own goal. That's it. They're not even getting close to the halfway line at the moment. It's incredible. They're quite happy just to sit there, wait, see what happens. Newcastle just needs to be a little bit more clinical in and around the penalty area.
Trippier to take the corner in front of the Gallagate end. The first of the evening at this end of the ground. Right-footed, sends the ball in towards the back post, away by Harry Souttar, who I think has been placed into this team to deal with those set pieces from Kieran Trippier. Thrown in quickly from the far side by Guimaraes and turned back by Anderson to Longstaff. Longstaff floats the ball out wide towards the right. Trippier keeps hold of it, chests it down, takes it on. He's got Scher for company. Scher flips it into the box towards Isak, away by Johnny Evans. Evans then picks up a knee problem. Gets back to his feet. Is he stretching out cramp there? I think he is stretching out cramp. Johnny Evans trying to get out from the back. He's got an issue. He's hobbling around inside the penalty area as the ball goes out towards the wide right. Trippier with the delivery towards the far post. It's too heavy this time, goes behind. And Johnny Evans looks as if he's going to need some treatment.
That can't be cramp. He's not run more than 15 yards in the whole game.
It looks like he's stretching it out.
But he might have tweaked his hammy or something like that. But I mean, cramp, you've got to run around to get cramp. He's been camped on that box for probably all but 1 minute of the game.
Yeah, he's gone down inside the area trying to run something off, that's for sure. He's had so many injuries, Johnny Evans. He's been out for so much of this season. Eddie Howe's just put on a jacket. It is chillier tonight than I expected it to be, bearing in mind I came up from Manchester where it was almost tropical today, actually.
Oh, even in Yorkshire today it was very, very sunny. But that's often the way, isn't it? This early warm sunny days, sun goes down, clear skies, temperature drops a little bit.
Yeah, I think I come underprepared, I've got to be honest with you.
Well, you know, you've gone cream jacket early for summer.
It's nearly June.
Yeah, our summer, what we get a week in August if we're lucky.
It's usually around this time that it's the hottest, isn't it? Which doesn't bode well going forward. 57 minutes gone, Newcastle 0, Leicester City 0, live on TalkSport. The ball is wide on the near side with Kieran Trippier. 0-0 the score. And lots of opportunities for Newcastle United, but no goals as of yet. Bruno Guimaraes out towards Trippier toward the edge of the penalty area. Now it's on to Almiron trying to get through two blue shirts. The blue wall has certainly been erected on the edge of that penalty area away to our right hand side. Can Newcastle find a way through? Can Newcastle pierce it? Trippier moves up towards the angle of the penalty area, back to Cher.
I'd like to see Newcastle score, if for no other reason to see what Leicester do then.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, all I can think about this moment in time is Leicester needed so desperately to learn how to defend earlier in the season. Why didn't they just employ this approach right from the beginning of Dean Smith's tenure? Isaac coming forward to Cher. He's got space for Trippier on this near side. Trippier moves up towards the edge of the penalty area. Back in it goes to Guimaraes. It's all Newcastle United. Back to Almiron trying to take on Samare and Thomas and then play it in between them to find Guimaraes. Then takes over, gets it back. Almiron lays it to the edge of the area. Isaac! Brilliant save by Everson. It was too close to him. Isaac's effort went curling towards the far post. It was probably a little bit too close to Everson, who stuck up a right hand and popped it over the top for a corner.
Yeah, he was lucky. He was pretty much straight at him. Yeah, it was. It's just above his head. He's able to put an arm up a yard either side with that much power, and that's probably in the back of the net.
Good football though, wasn't it?
Oh, but it's far too easy, isn't it? They're just passing it around, no real pressure on them.
Trippier in towards the near post. Going in was Botman for it, didn't reach it. It was forward to Wilson from Almiron. Now they're on the edge of the penalty area with Trippier once again. It's still 0-0. You're listening to TalkSport. We're approaching the hour mark. It's picked up by Bruno Guimaraes, left hand side of the Newcastle attack. Isaac again prodding, trying to find a way through.
Leicester are playing, Sam, like they need a point to stay in the Premier League, aren't they? They're just hanging on for dear life.
Here is Almiron down this near side, the right, onto Guimaraes inside the area, trying to charge his way through. Maddison gets back, gets something on the ball. It spills to the left full-back position. Tielemans will clear it, but it's headed back by Botman. Collected by Longstaff, near touchline for Newcastle United. They have it for 1-2 passes, possibly Leicester, and give it straight back to the black and white jerseys, who are coming forward once again with Isaac, moving towards the edge of the penalty area. Gets it onto his right foot, shot takes a deflection, goes over the top of the crossbar. Another corner.
And listen to that roar. Crowd trying to will the ball into the back of net. I know you love a stat, Sam.
I do.
Have you got the stats, territory stats in there? Because it must be about 95% in Leicester's half.
Inside opposition territory.
That's the one.
I'll get that for you in just a second. Hold on a second. Let me do this corner kick first of all, because it's taken short by Trippier to Almiron. The back heel didn't come off as he was trying to get it back to Trippier. And then Maddison and Tielemans are playing around these two. It goes out for a throw-in on this near side. And I even think that's a Leicester throw. It's not. Foul. Eventually it comes through to Samare. He's still on the edge of his own penalty area. Fast gives it back to his goalkeeper. The clearance by Everson is into the air, and then Botman heads it away. Hoofed up into the night sky by Harry Souttar. Flicked on.
I was going to say, it's a while since he played for Leicester, isn't it? Rob Hoof.
It's Well, we've got 38 touches in the opposition box by Newcastle United. How many from Leicester?
None.
1.
Oh.
But Daka and Barnes are coming on to add a little bit more threat.
To add a bit more defensive solidity.
Here's Isaac down in towards Byrne. On to Isaac again. Isaac inside the 6-yard box, just couldn't get it back. And it's smuggled behind, and it's away for a goal kick and a pat on the head for Ndidi. And here come the changes. So, who's going to come off here?
Vardy, I think.
Evans coming off for Daka. That's the first change. And the second change is going to be Jamie Vardy off, Barnes on.
Well, Jamie Vardy's not really been in the game, has he? He hasn't been able to show that pace in behind. He has no service whatsoever. Even he looks not out of sorts. But it's almost like he's lost that little bit, lost a little bit of fight. Looks like there's confusion now. What sort of system they're going to play? Look, Vardy's just sort of put 3 up. Someone else has gone like 4. I'm not quite sure they know what system they're going to play.
Yeah, they're arguing about it, aren't they? Down in front of us, and Dean Smith is putting his fingers up. Vardy hasn't quite come off the pitch yet. Daka has had his instructions. Johnny Evans comes off the pitch as well. Wout Faes is talking to Luke Thomas and saying, I want what. I haven't got a clue what's going on. Wout Faes has just shaken his head as if to say, what on earth is happening then? I don't get it. Who's playing right back?
It's charades going on. It's like, give us a clue. Is it a film?
Why is there so many midfielders? Here is Daka down the left-hand side for Leicester, who move up towards the edge of the Newcastle penalty area. Maybe it will work. Here's Samare. Now he plays it wide onto Thomas. And Thomas plays it down the line into Barnes. Barnes trying to take on the Newcastle defence on the left-hand side. He wins the first corner of the game for Leicester City in doing so.
I tell you what, if Leicester manage to win this, it's like movie stuff, isn't it?
Well, look, Wout Faes has just come running over towards the near touchline. He's asking for instructions from Dean Smith just to get clarification as to what tactically they're trying to achieve. He's got his explanation. He's going back. John Terry's coming over just to make sure that everyone's on the same page.
But I've just seen there Dean Smith hold 3 fingers out. It's gone from 3 to 2 to 4.
Well, we've got 27 minutes left to play, and Leicester have got their first corner of the game. Can they make the most of it? Nick Pope looks a dominant figure in that penalty area. It goes in towards the near post. It's headed away by Bruno Guimaraes and out towards the near touchline away for a throw. Tielemans' delivery wasn't the best.
Starting to get the feeling though that there could be a huge twist in this.
Listen, it's the Premier League. There's always twists. There's always plot twists that you can never even imagine. That's what makes it the addictive division that it is. It's why we cram around our radios, televisions all day, every day, looking for news and intrigue, and why we can't put it down. It's absolutely terrific.
I'll tell you what Nick Pope does very well, and he has his critics with his feet, doesn't he? He's not the greatest,
no,
but he throws it out very well.
He distributes with his hands well, yeah.
So rather than sort of roll it out and try and kick it, he's got a great overarm throw and an underarm one to get the attack going.
Here's Bruno Guimaraes clipping the ball forward down the left side. Isaac is on beyond the defence, but he can't keep it in because it's going to run off the turf and go behind and away for a goal kick away to our right hand side. I wonder when Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall start thinking about the possibility of unleashing a wild card. They've got Jacob Murphy on the bench back from injury. They've got Alan Saint-Maximin available to them. They've got Anthony Gordon, all possible wild cards up the sleeve.
Couple of minutes I'd have thought, keep looking around at the bench, keep talking to different coaches. How can we change it up? It's just not happening for them. It's just everything's almost at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is the difference. Newcastle haven't been in this position before. Now this is new to them. You have to be patient in terms of being at this stage of the season. You know, expectation of winning games, not to panic. Manchester United in the past, Liverpool, the Arsenal, Chelsea will believe that even if it takes 89th minute, they'll just keep playing and they will score that goal.
Yeah.
Newcastle, and because it's new to them, haven't quite got that belief when they're at this end of the table.
They haven't kept too many clean sheets recently. They kept 12 in their first 20 matches. And that's another thing that they would like to get back to. Maybe it's tonight that they keep a clean sheet for the first time in a little while, Newcastle United. Bruno Guimaraes has it from Kieran Trippier as they come forward again inside Leicester territory. Leicester with everybody behind the ball once more. Trippier into Almiron across to Sven Botman, who strides up through the centre circle. He's on the left side of the middle of the Leicester half. Everybody inside that final third now in the black and white jerseys. It's flipped out towards the far side. On to Isaac. Now Guimaraes. He's got Tielemans for company. He lays it back to Fabian Schär, who can hit them. He doesn't. Instead he slides it down the right side of the area for Longstaff. Longstaff back to Schär. He's got Guimaraes. He's going to hit it this time. It's going to curl towards goal, but too much elevation on it. And here comes Alan Saint-Maximin.
Well, Newcastle just getting a little bit frustrated, aren't they? Can't quite find a way through. Not really creating clear-cut chances anymore. Can this man make a difference?
Well, he has made the difference in previous matches. In fact, the last time he scored a goal, it was a 90th minute equaliser against Wolves in August. But he hasn't scored in 25 games. Off comes Saint-Maximin. On comes Saint-Maximin. Off comes Callum Wilson. Are you surprised by that change?
Yeah, a little bit. He hasn't really had too much service.
It means Isaac will go down the middle and Saint-Maximin will go out wide towards the left. Interesting. Very interesting. Newcastle know that a point will send them to the Champions League next season. They'll have 70 points from 37 games. Liverpool can't catch them if it stays like that. Daka tries to cross on the left side. It goes behind and away for a goal kick. If it stays like this at the bottom of the table, this is what it's going to look like. Leicester are going to go above Leeds on goal difference. It means that Leeds will have 31 points from 37 games, 1 to play, minus 27 goal difference. Leicester minus 18 goal difference, same points, same games. And Everton will have 33 points from 37. They will need still to win on the final day of the season to ensure that they get a place in the Premier League next campaign. They play Bournemouth. Leicester entertain West Ham. Leeds entertain Tottenham at Elland Road. They will have to win.
I know Hugh Wozencroft thinks all three will win. I think one will win. I think there'll be a win, a draw and a loss out of those final 3 games.
Yeah? You want to tell us which ones?
I know what I hope for.
Everton.
Not saying. I'm being unbiased.
Yeah. Newcastle 0, Leicester 0, and for the latest odd, heads to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Newcastle to win the game at 11-10 on, 10-1 for Leicester to win the match, 6-5 the draw. It's all thanks to Ladbrokes. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Do the Premier League players take a drop if they go into the Champions League in terms of wages?
Championship, you mean?
Championship, sorry, yeah.
Some will.
Yeah.
Some have in the past, but the problem is in this.
Goal. Wout Faes has slipped over on the halfway line, playing the ball forward.
The problem is in this day and age, Sam, players are going to go, if I'm coming to your football club, if we go down, you're going to get a 25% wage reduction. They'll just go, I'm not signing it.
Here is Elliot Anderson out towards the left. Saint-Maximin with his first touch of the ball. A burst of electricity goes around the stadium as he plays the ball into Guimaraes. Takes a lucky deflection onto Longstaff, who helps it back to Kieran Trippier. It's 20 minutes before the end of the game and it's still goalless on TalkSport. I don't think many people would have predicted that at this stage, but then Leicester are playing 8 defenders. The ball's out on the left-hand side. Anderson just about keeps it in, plays it against Maddison, is out for a corner. Anderson looks as if he's feeling the pace of the game. He's now touching the back of his hamstring as we get to this late point of the season, which is taking its toll on so many players. It's been a long season. Newcastle have just got one tiny hurdle to jump over. If they can get a point from this game, then nothing else will matter to them. If they get all 3, they'll be smiling from ear to ear. It's been a terrific campaign for them. Jacob Murphy's about to get ready and come on for Newcastle. Trippier, ball right underneath the crossbar, and he's flicked off the post again. Flicked on at the near post, and it hit the far post. It might have gone all the way through. And now Longstaff is under pressure, and he's done brilliantly to get away from Maddison and Daka. And Almiron will just keep the ball on this near side. He plays it forward. Schär draws the foul from Thomas. Free kick given. How's that not gone in?
How's that not gone in? But where's even the goalkeeper going? He's ended up and he's got himself tangled up in the back of the net. I mean, it comes out, it's a great set piece yet again.
Right underneath the goalkeeper. It took a little flick off Fast, and then
that's Guimaraes.
It's Guimaraes who heads it against the post from less than 1 yard. Here is Alison Maxima into the penalty area. Oh, two players getting each other's way. Longstaff and Isaac. And the ball spills out of the penalty area. But Trippier intervenes. He's picked it up. He slipped it down the side of the box. Here's Almiron. Plays it through the centre. Blocked by Fast. Goes behind. And it's away for another corner.
There's absolute chaos in there now. Leicester all over the place. Newcastle almost trying too hard to score, getting in each other's way.
Now Longstaff and Isaac really did get in each other's way there. They almost kicked each other's feet. The ball's with Alan Saint-Maximin once again. Moves down the left-hand side. Beats Castagna. Then tees it up towards Anderson. Anderson, who drives it, gets right underneath it and blasts it over the top of the crossbar.
Do you know what, Sam? It reminds me of a team when they've got 9 men on the pitch. And there's no ambition whatsoever to move off the edge of the 6-yard box.
That's the third time tonight that they've hit the woodwork.
Do you know what? He sees the post and he pulls out of it a little bit. I think he gets a little bit scared at the far post. He realises if I go right through this, I could headbutt the post and
knock myself out.
Yeah. Got to be braver than that, lad. Back post. Alan Shearer would have done it. Just anything for a goal.
Would you have done it?
Oh, too right. I'd have dented the post. No sense, no feeling.
0-0. Newcastle have come so close to getting the goal.
3 times the post?
3 times they've hit the post. Wilson over, Isaac over when they should have scored. They've been so unfortunate. That goal's led a charmed life. I don't know how, because Daniel Everson has missed about 3 balls into the box, come completely flapping for it and got nowhere near it.
But Dean Smith's now starting to think, you know what? 16, 17 minutes to go. This might be our night.
But they might get a point. I don't know if that constitutes being their night, but they might get a point.
It gives them a chance, doesn't it? Or gives them a better chance.
It gives them a better chance, yeah, than not winning, yeah.
Because even if Everton then pick up a point and Leicester win, they go above them, because the goal difference is far better.
Yeah. But they're relying on Everton at home dropping points against Bournemouth on the final day. So it's not in their hands. There will be drama, there's no doubt about that, and you'll be able to follow it all on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Probably a good idea to download the app if you haven't got it. You can flick between the 2 stations. You can also listen back to some of our great programmes that we put out on a day-to-day basis, like White and Jordan this morning with Martin Keown, who again was fascinating. Absolutely fascinating to listen to every single time he's on the radio with those boys, and it was a good listen again this morning. And tomorrow they've got Noel Gallagher in the studio with them, White and Jordan, from 10 o'clock. Here is Trippier into the penalty area, away by Fast, comes out to Bruno Guimaraes. He picks it up, lays it back towards Cher. Down the right it goes. It's collected by Almiron, who plays it infield, scooped up into the air, Fast away, and it bounces on the edge of the box, and Trippier sends it infield. Guimaraes back towards halfway. It's collected by Cher, infield to Bruno Guimaraes again. He turns it forward, or he slips, he plays it for on, but Isaac has the presence of mind to steer it out wide towards the left, and now Saint-Maximin, who gets to the edge of the penalty area, gives it to Guimaraes, who turns and plays it back to Trippier. They're all packed on the edge of the box. It's difficult to pick a way through. It's into the box for Almiron. It's away by Fass, who stepped in front of the Paraguayan. But it's all Newcastle United.
It's the most one-sided 0-0 I've ever seen in my life.
Ball is on the left-hand side. It's played infield to Alan Saint-Maximin. Saint-Maximin plays it wide towards the left-hand side. So they continue to come forward here, Newcastle United. We've played 75 minutes of this game. Ball out wide towards the right. Trippier through the legs of the defender. Onto Longstaff. Drives it goalward. Stopped by Everson down the right-hand side. And it continues to be one-way traffic. 83.2% possession to Newcastle United. They've hit the woodwork 3 times. They've had some cracking chances. They haven't converted one yet. Guimaraes down the right onto Trippier. Slipped by Thomas into the box, across towards the far post. Is it coming in? It comes back towards the edge of the box, and Almiron's effort, he couldn't keep it down. He collides with Ndidi. It's going to be a goal kick away to our right hand side, and Jacob Murphy's going to come on. This is TalkSport.
What are the odds on the draw, Sam? I think I might.
what was it, 13-2 or something? 6-5, sorry, 6-5. That was about 10 minutes ago, though. So it's probably even tighter than that now, shorter than that now, as we take another drinks break here. And I can tell you that tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, Laura Woods will be back on breakfast. Graham Souness is going to be on the show, the former Newcastle manager. He's going to talk about swimming the channel. He'll also reflect on this game with the guys. White and Jordan from 10 have got Noel Gallagher with them. And remember, we've got more live football for you on Wednesday night as Brighton take on Manchester City. That's live on Talk Sport. Adrian and I will be there down on the south coast for that one. And then Thursday night, it's Manchester United against Chelsea. Nigel Adderley, Hugh Wozencroft and the gang will be at Old Trafford for that one. Elliot Anderson has come off for Jacob Murphy. Over the weekend, all the playoff finals are on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2. And we've got the final day of the WSL. And we've got the final day of the Premier League on Sunday, 4:30 kickoff. You're listening to Newcastle versus Leicester live on Talk Sport with Now Sports. Don't forget, with Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Newcastle versus Leicester live right now, $11.99, no contract. 12 minutes to go. Newcastle doing everything they can to get in front, but they haven't breached Daniel Everson away to our right hand side just yet. Saint-Maximin on to Bruno Guimaraes.
It's a Leicester Mourinho performance, isn't it? Just park as many buses as you can and hope for the best.
I don't think I've seen this many buses since I was walking down Seven Sisters Road on the way to Tottenham.
But I mean, there's been no ambition whatsoever from Leicester. I mean, I said at the start, you know, from the lineup that they had, I thought it would be 7 players behind the ball and they'd launch it long. They haven't really, apart from the first 5 minutes, they haven't really launched it long.
Well, they seem to be happy with the point. They think this is a good result for them. Okay.
But this is what I said. It's like they're playing like a point keeps them in the Premier League.
I'm not sure that it is enough.
No, I know it's not, but that's the way like they're playing at the moment, isn't it? It feels like this is the last game, and if they get a point, they stay up.
Listen, if they've done their calculations. They obviously have worked out that they think they've got a better chance with a point than not, so good luck to them. Here is Longstaff over on the left-hand side, plays it to Saint-Maximin, who runs at the angle of the edge of the penalty area. Madison coming back at him, plays it into Guimaraes. Oh, there was space on the near side for Trippier, but someone came back and nabbed it. It was Patson Daka who got it away, but only as far as Saint-Maximin, who once again goes swashbuckling towards the edge of the penalty area, plays the ball down the left channel. It's blocked this time, comes back to Madison, almost repelled into the path of Isaac. He didn't quite get hold of it, and they're waiting in front of the goalkeeper to pick the ball up and clear it away. 79 on the clock now. Dean Smith getting a little bit more pensive. I wonder if it stays like this. 83% possession, 23 shots, 4 on target, 11 corners. If that right at the end of the game, when there's a set piece, and Leicester's propensity for set piece concession is pretty high, whether Nick Pope is allowed to come up and join the fray. He hasn't got anything else to do. Here's Longstaff, slipping it down the left channel, looking for Isaac, who's going to get there ahead of Wout Faes. He's down by the touchline. He's engaged by Castagna, and the goal kick is given. Andre Mariner seemed to be following that.
Right, as a defending team, Sam, you now get to 80 minutes and you start to believe you can get a point. There are certain markers in the game that you think we get to.
Do you get like to 80 extra win?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. You get to 80 minutes and you think, you know what, just dig in now for 10 minutes. We can kick the ball out of play and waste 4 or 5 minutes just by hoofing it in the stands.
Do you think that Leicester should have started to employ this sort of tactic then earlier in the season? Like go back 2 or 3 games? Why not?
Start the season, if you draw every game 0-0, you stay up. Simple as that.
But what I mean is, Dean Smith has got the reputation of someone who can drill a defence. Obviously, this defence has been drilled to play like this today. Why did they not do that for the games against Everton, for the games against Liverpool, for the game against Fulham down at Craven Cottage? If they'd done that, they wouldn't be in this situation.
Because, and especially you're right, because the players that they've got, the attacking prowess, they're always likely to nick one somewhere.
Here is Trippier in the right full-back position. I just wonder if it's just a little bit too late now. Here is Cher coming forward, fouled by Samare, and it's going to be a free kick in the right full-back position, played into Botman on the edge of the penalty area. He's played it out to the wide left, and it's now with Byrne. Byrne moves up towards the left side. Alan Saint-Maximin comes to the halfway line, looks up, wanted to release Almiron or Isaac. Murphy's now on this right-hand side. It's almost like a 4-2-4 for Newcastle United, because they've sort of vacated the midfield area because they haven't required it for most of the game. Here's Bruno Guimaraes, who seems to be playing in there on his own at this moment in time. Longstaff's broken the lines and gone down the left-hand side. Indeed, he's just dived on the floor. I don't think you can really just do that and expect to get away with the ball. He's then had to give it to Castagna, who's cleared it away. It's gone upfield. Daka's got the pace to chase it, but Kieran Trippier has lifted it over his head, taken down by Byrne. And they've got some space over the halfway line. Trippier, Guimaraes, centre circle. Newcastle on the attack. Newcastle fans a little bit frustrated. Have they got the ingenuity to find a way through this tightly packed Leicester defence, this blue wall that's been amassed on the edge of their own penalty area, having had no shots on target at all? Here is Bruno Guimaraes, and only 17% of the ball. Here's Bruno Guimaraes again, flipping the ball into the box. It's going to be tossed behind by Castagna under no pressure, and that seemed negligent. Are they going to make them pay for it?
Have they even had a shot, Sam? I mean,
no shot.
Yeah, no shot.
No shot on target. Not even a shot. It's been a very limp attacking display, but they have managed